Hey friends, and welcome back to the Aliens Love Earth podcast, the show where we heal the Earth with art. Did you know that one average tour by a mid-level band produces as much CO2 as the average household does in a year? Yeah, that blew my mind as well, and it got me thinking, how can musicians actually go green, and what kind of tech is out there to make it easier, not harder? I'm Jasper, and today we're diving deep into the tools and innovations that are making it possible to create music, share it with the world, and actually help the planet at the same time. Now, stick with me, because you'll walk away with real actionable steps and a few wild ideas to try out, and maybe even a little hope for the future of music and the Earth. Now, first, music is pure magic. We can all agree on that. But behind the scenes, it leaves a real environmental mark. Think about the flights, van rides, hotel rooms, and even the endless streaming. It all adds up. But here's what's exciting. New tech is giving us the power to shrink that footprint without sacrificing the spirit of what we do. Now, next time you plan a gig or release, just pause and ask, what would the greenest version of this look like? Because that simple question, that quick reflection really helps you to already reduce your footprint, just being conscious about it. So if you plan a gig or a release, just ask yourself, how can I make this the greenest version of this idea possible? Touring is where most emissions happen, but tech is changing that game as well. We see more virtual concerts and live streaming. So instead of hopping on a plane for every show, artists are using platforms like Bandcamp Live, StageIt, and Twitch to reach fans worldwide without any travel required. Some are also mixing in live and even virtual reality concerts, so local energy stays high and global fans feel included. Now, if you want some real value, you can set up a hybrid gig with just a laptop and a decent mic. So try it out for your next show and see who tunes in from across the planet. You can reach an audience further than just the live performance and the crowd in front of you at the real live concert. This way you're literally growing your music career while at the same time you're reaching people from across the planet. Now, something else when it comes to touring to keep in mind is smart routing and green touring apps. So apps like Green Touring and Equilibrium let you map the most fuel-efficient tour routes, and they recommend venues running on renewable energy as well. That way you can plan your tour or gigs to be greener, and therefore you help the planet. You plug in your stops and they do the math. So that's really a cool thing to try out, Green Touring or Equilibrium. Now, the fun thing about this is that it's not only cutting emissions, but it's also saving you cash. So it's a win-win. It's better for your wallet and it's better for the planet. Now, one thing you could do before you book your next run of shows, check out these tools and see if you can shave off some mileage or choose a greener venue. Now, a very important partner, of course, with shows and gigs is the venue. So the good news is that more venues are sharing their energy stats, like, hey, we have a solar-powered stage, or hey, we, eliminated one-time use plastics or things like that. But if you as an artist ask about these things, about sustainability measures the venues take, you show that you care, and sometimes you even get to play a part in their green story. So why don't you try to make it a habit to ask every venue about their energy source or about what they do about sustainability? You might be surprised what they're already doing. You show that you care, which shows the venue that they're doing the right thing. And maybe they have a little reflection moment or get interested, ask their management about what they're actually doing. And that way, your question has a rippling effect. Another thing that you see around touring is that fans are offsetting now by buying small chips during the ticketing process. So some ticketing platforms now let fans chip in a small amount to offset travel emissions. It's a tiny ask, but it does add up if, multiple people do that. And again, it's like a moment where even if people don't do it, they are, they have a moment of a reflection, or they're reminded about it being an important topic. And it's also a great talking point for your show to just do this. Now, let's have a look at something else than touring and playing live, the digital streaming and distribution section of this all. Streaming is how most fans find music, but those servers also need power. So think about eco-conscious streaming platforms. Bandcamp is upfront about their energy use and supports artist-led climate projects as well. Some newer platforms and indie initiatives are pledging to use green hosting and renewable energy, and several are making progress, but the industry as a whole isn't 100% there yet. Now, if you're releasing music, let fans know which platforms are greener and why it matters, and also pick them, because it empowers your audience to make better choices too. So if you decide to not be on Spotify anymore, for example, because their CEO is investing in the weapons industry, which also has a big environmental impact, then share that with your audience and tell them why you make that decision, because you do have an influence as an artist. Now, another thing is blockchains, and not all blockchains are energy hawks. Platforms using Tezos or Algorand let you mint digital collectibles or music, NFTs, with a fraction of the energy older blockchains use. And if you're curious about NFTs, check the platform's energy impact before you mint. Eco NFTs, or more sustainable NFTs, I should say, are a thing. I think especially for like artists focused on younger generations, it can be a very cool thing. And I think it can be more sustainable than, for example, wasteful or bad quality merch from synthetic or plastic materials shipped over the whole world. So yeah, just take that in mind if you're planning to do something like that. So if you're selling music directly, for example, through your website or Bandcamp, you're cutting out a lot of the digital middleman. So you can even bundle things in, like, you know, you can make eco bundle perks, like supporting a tree planting campaign with each sale, or yeah, for example, delivering some eco-friendly merch with your music if people buy a higher package tier. And often it's also more sustainable for you in the long term, because the profit margin on products sold through your website or Bandcamp obviously is way bigger than a stream or a few streams on like a Spotify or Apple Music or whatever. If you're really a bit more into the taggy part and you want to look into some carbon tracking or transparency about your footprint and use of resources, this is where you get to measure and share your impact. So, for example, tools like Equilibrium and Julie's Bicycle let you plug in your travel, energy use and more, giving you a real-time snapshot of your footprint. So, as a little action step, try logging your next gig, tour or event. It doesn't matter if it's in the city you live in, if it's a further trip, even if the numbers aren't perfect, it's a starting point for improvement and just fun to experiment with it and be aware a bit about what the impact is of the things you're doing as a human being. Now, another thing you see some artists do now is sharing their carbon stats with fans. So once you are in the habit of like recording your carbon footprint or your footprint in general with Equilibrium or Julie's Bicycle, you can consider sharing those stats on socials or at your gig. And I think this new kind of transparency is really something that builds trust and sets a community standard as well. And again, it reminds your fans about caring about the planet, because it shows that you care. It's not only about like, oh, you're inspiring as an artist. It's, you know, as a human being is seeing or hearing something, they are reminded about that existing or being a thing. And you don't have to lay very hard on it or like pressure it on people, but just mentioning that, hey, I'm doing this because I find it important already makes people aware of it being important to some people and make them rethink their steps. Now, if you measured your footprint and maybe shared about it, the next thing you can do is offsetting it. So platforms like Earth% and One Tree Planted let you or your fans offset emissions from streams, downloads, and travel, and more. So next time you launch a release, let your fans know if you're offsetting and invite them to join in on it. Maybe you can say, I'll plant 10 trees for every person getting my single on Bandcamp. Or, hey everyone, I have this new bundle on my website now. It's my latest album, an eco-friendly recycled t-shirt. And if you get it, I'll also, restore so many square meters of ecosystem. Now, speaking about that, we restore 1 square meter of ecosystem for every new follower on the channel you're listening on right now. So if you're not following yet and you're still listening, consider giving us a follow. It's 2 clicks on your mouse button. It's completely free for you. And in your name, we will restore 1 square meter of this beautiful earth where it's needed the most. Now, I'm also curious, what's the coolest green tech or innovation you've seen in music lately? Just drop it in the comments because I would love to hear that. Now that we have seen what the problem is and a few things that we can do about it straight away, let's look ahead for a second and imagine just what the future could be like, because I think it could be pretty wild, to be fair. So one thing that's a point of attention there where I can imagine this happening is an app that not only books your route, but also finds the greenest option for travel, venues, and maybe even gear sharing. And I think some projects are already in beta in that, actually. So keep an eye out for that, because AI is a thing that's, definitely, having an impact on the environment. But we also have to realize that it isn't all for bad. It's how we use it. And I think that's really important with that topic, because energy is being used by technology in big amounts. But I think we need to realize that there are causes where it can be used for good, where the bigger message or underlying idea is for good and saving more than it uses. Like, it's about the net result, right? Another thing we see happening more and more throughout the years is virtual reality and augmented reality concerts. And I think we can all agree that they're getting better every year. And I can imagine soon fans could step into your gig from anywhere, slashing travel emissions and opening up creative new worlds. I don't think it will completely replace, the real life concert emotion and, connection with others. I think, we also don't want that. I think we need the real in-person connection and also like the energy and the vibe of being at a concert for real. I think that's irreplaceable. But it's a great alternative, especially if people don't have the money to attend or live on the other side of the world. And I think a thing that's gonna really pop up is fan co-creation. So some platforms let fans vote on which climate projects their favorite artists support, or pool micro donations for big green wins. And it's all about turning your music community into a climate action team. Yeah, so here's what I hope you take away from this episode. That one, tech isn't just a buzzword, it's a real lever for change. And that whether you're live streaming, using AI to plan your tour, or tracking your carbon, that every experiment and every question asked and every second thought about the topic is moving us forward. And two, that you don't have to be perfect, because progress, and I mean real progress, is messy and every step in that counts. But we don't always see that, because often people are just sharing, the things that go well, the results, the highlights, or they share the quirky, funny little accidents. But a lot of it is left out, and it's messy. And that's fine. And also there counts the more we talk about it, about what works and what doesn't, the more we all learn and grow from it. And I think that's fantastic. Now, if this episode sparked an idea, hit subscribe and share it with a friend. And remember that for every new follower, we restore 1 square meter of ecosystem. It's 2 clicks, it's free for you, so you're literally helping heal the earth with art if you hit that subscribe button right now. Until next time, keep making music, keep loving earth, and keep looking for those little ways to do better as we're figuring this all out together. All right, see you next time. Bye-bye.